Now, welcome to, let's call it Out of This World Theories from Naboo. Because this time we got a pretty crazy one, I think. I don't think it's crazy. Actually, I take that back. This isn't going to be a crazy theory, I think. It would actually make quite a bit of sense.
Yes, it makes perfect sense.
And the theory is Grogu's going dark side.
Yes.
Eventually.
I mean,
allegedly.
they talked about how Grogu, he's like a bridge between the Mandalorian and the Jedi. I'm like, well, for one, he's not a Jedi. Luke said he was forsaking the Order if he left. And even Ahsoka sensed in him his attachments. But I think it goes way, way beyond that. Luke not training him, even though he's got the attachments, I think that's a huge detrimental impact to the entire galaxy.
Luke unlocked his memories.
Yes.
And now we see him in season 3, in the trailer at least, we see him force pushing the weird creature on Mandalore or something.
Well, we even have interviews with like Filoni and stuff saying that he's getting stronger in the Force. Yes. He's using his skills. He's getting, better with them. Ahsoka said, let them fade away because, as long as he's not using them and stuff, they'll fade away. I guess it's like magic and Willow.
Well, I think that makes sense though if you don't kind of hone your skills.
But he is honing them.
Because that's a way to answer the big question of, okay, so you're born Force sensitive, extremely strong with the Force, you never get trained. Isn't it inevitable that you fall to the dark side? Well, no, because you never kind of explore it, you never learn about it. I mean, you can almost use Luke as an example. Luke's 19, he doesn't ever figure out he's Force sensitive. He probably, in an alternate timeline, lives out the rest of his life never knowing.
Right. But Grogu knows. He's already had training that was slowly being unlocked. But he has so many bad habits.
He does.
Luke should have sent him back, pinned a note to his shirt, and be like, by the way, tell him not to use the Force anymore. It could be dangerous.
And we can assume that Mando's going to encourage it because we actually
see... He doesn't know any better.
He doesn't know any better, and we've also seen Mando trying to teach him, grab the ball, Grogu, and,
dang, Ferric, it's so cool.
Plus, it's, that's a hell of an ally to have, or,
It is.
To have somebody who can use the Force to do these things, and Mando has no clue that he shouldn't be doing things. No, certain things are bad.
Luke did not pin a note to his shirt when he sent him back.
Yeah,
I mean, he didn't even, as far as we know it right now, Din didn't even get a chance to talk to R2 if there was any message to relay.
No. It's such a strange thing for Luke to just okay, you decided no attachments. I know I just unlocked all your Force memories, and you seem like you might be a little on the selfish side of things and attached and all these things, but hey, go ahead, go back. No warning, no nothing. You'll stop using the Force, I guess.
And right now, Din is a really soft parent. He is a pushover.
Well, yeah, he's not.
Think of all of the times we've seen him doing something bad, and he goes, "Hey, Grogu, don't do that." But does it stop Grogu? No.
Well, think of Din's past too. His moral compass is probably a bit skewed, right? He's done some terrible things, and I'm not saying he doesn't realize some of the things he's done in the past are bad. But he's going to be a little bit more lenient than your average, parent in, say, the real world who's trying to bring up a kid, right?
Right.
Plus he's raising a Mandalorian, and Mandalorians are warriors.
They're going to
encourage whatever combat skill he sees Grogu potentially has, he's going to encourage that skill.
But following the way and, the creed, Mandalorians, these Mandalorians are not selfish individuals. They come back with Beskar and, hey, make sure you give some to the foundlings.
No, they're not.
He comes back, he probably shares the money he got from his bounty. He probably shares some of that amongst the people as well. He doesn't just take it all.
No, he's very much for Mandalore, for Mandalorians, yeah. And to be clear, before we even go on here, I'm not saying end of season 3, the big twist is going to be Grogu goes dark side. That's not exactly what I mean here. I'm saying potentially down the road, could you see him going dark side?
These are long-term consequences because Grogu is going to outlive a lot of people.
Yeah, in theory, he's going to live hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah, he's going to outlive the sequel trilogy. He could be the end game bad guy that is coming.
I mean, it's interesting to note that many consider Yoda to be the most powerful Jedi ever, right? I mean, as far as we know, there are others who have done some, cool things and were also powerful, don't get me wrong. But within the main Star Wars canon, Yoda is, the most powerful Force user. So it'd be pretty interesting if the most powerful Sith to ever exist was actually one of his species as well.
Yeah. He could bring the galaxy, he could plunge them into a years long reign of darkness.
Yeah, it sounds crazy to think because we know Grogu is goo goo gaga and doing cute things, but he's going to grow up.
He is going to grow up.
And the question is, if you're looking at it from the Disney Lucasfilm story perspective, what do you do with him? Do you make him another Yoda? I mean, it works, don't get me wrong, because you're going to have him for hundreds of years. You can link him into God knows how many stories down the road, right?
Every story.
Yeah, he can be there almost indefinitely in the Star Wars canon whenever you go past Return of the Jedi, or even Clone Wars era now. Technically, you could be in there. But my point is, you have to figure out what you want to do with him long term, because they're going to. There's no way he isn't in a great amount of Star Wars content down the road. So, do you just make him Yoda 2.0? Do you make him something different entirely? Or do you go dark side with him?
I think dark side would be a really, really interesting thing. I mean, his dad unites Mandalore.
Potentially.
Let's play with my weird.
Okay. That's not a weird theory. He's probably going to play a part. Yeah.
Unites Mandalore. He is the only other person within this clan, within Clan Mudhorn here.
Yeah.
He is totally being spoiled by his dad, by Din.
Yes.
Din says, "Hey, don't eat those eggs." What is Grogu doing every time Mando turns his back? He's eating them. Literally every time. Even at the end, and he's like, "Bye, everyone with the eggs," and he's like, "Ate another one."
But no, that's a great example. All the cute things he does are selfish things.
Well, and there's no repercussions for him. He's in the class, sitting there. He reaches out his hand and he asks that kid for the cookies. Kid's like, no, these are my cookies. And Grogu just takes them and eats them. Right in front of the kid, too. He doesn't even try to, put him in his robes for later and pull him out when he's on the ship, which would have been a cute gag. But no, he's just going to eat him right then and there.
Yeah, and we laugh at that because it's cute. But take that into a different context. Put that into a movie. And
you're like, that's a bad kid.
And yeah, that would be the bully, right?
That would be the bully. He just stole the other kid's thing because he wanted them.
Yeah.
And ate it right in front of him.
Yeah. And we all oh, that was so adorable. Look at Grogu stealing the kids' cookies and eating them in
what's he doing? He's using the Force to casually flip a chair so he can spin, because he wants to spin. His dad comes over and he stops him. So what's the next thing? He's like, oh, fine, I'm just going to start eating Skittles. He does whatever he wants with, and we haven't seen him being really scolded or seeing consequences to the things he did.
No, and he now has a parent that's going to encourage that kind of behavior, as we've been saying.
Right. He could, here's where I start going a little more off the wall. I'm sorry, everybody.
Oh, boy.
He could eventually usurp his own father, get the Darksaber, because we all know Grogu needs a lightsaber. So let's say at the end of his father's life, he challenges him, he wins the Darksaber, or it somehow gets passed down, or whatever else they wanted. It's probably going to be a challenge, and he wins the saber. Because
he can rule Mandalore
he rules Mandalore. There is his army. Now he has an army of Mandalorians to win the galaxy. United Mandalore.
Yes, Mandalorian Sith Grogu. Mm-hmm. He's going to be like Revan. There's our new Revan right here.
He's going to be so cool.
He's going to go dark. He's going to be able to wield both. He's going to be the first ever Grey Jedi.
Think about it. The Mandalorians have been struggling for years to find their place in the galaxy. They were once such a great people. You think they're really going to go against him going, yeah, let's take our place in the galaxy. We'll show them what we are. We're Mandalorians. Let's take over.
We are seeing the birth of the greatest Star Wars villain since Darth Vader.
Right. I mean, think about this, and this is years down the road. Because Mando's going to live out his whole reign and unite the people, and everyone's going to be like, Grogu, his son, foundling, his clansman.
Son who's older than him.
He's so powerful. He's so powerful. Oh, my goodness, someday he might take over Mandalore. And then when he takes over Mandalore, he's like, you know what? Let's get ours.
Well, I mean...
He could rally the people.
Yeah. If, say, Din Djarin does become leader of Mandalore, some people believe that to be certainly a possibility. I wouldn't rule it out. I don't know that they want to do the whole reluctant leader thing again. We just kind of had that in Book of Boba Fett, in a way. Anyway...
but Boba Fett wasn't reluctant. He wanted to be the ruler.
Yeah, but it's the same story.
Yes.
I mean, which is why I think Book of Boba Fett was what it was, because you had the same character as Din Djarin kind of going into it. Mm-hmm. Boba Fett he's a badass bounty hunter. He has this life-altering experience. He goes on to be the leader of doing his thing on Mos Espa and everything. Anyway, let's say Din becomes leader of Mandalore. Let's say... he lives out a long reign, and he has his son at his side the whole time, who's expecting to one day take up the Darksaber himself. He's expecting to one day become the next leader of Mandalore. And they're like, you know what? We can't. You're not. Look at you. You're a little green dude. We can't lead Mandalore. And he shows them that, yeah, I can lead Mandalore by any means necessary. I mean, I think that's a good... I'm being honest here. I think that actually makes sense. It makes more sense than to just... Again, eventually goes back. Not that I would be completely opposed to going back to Luke and all the Jedi stuff, but I think you got to do something special with this character. Something really off the wall and unique that nobody expects.
Where Grogu has hundreds of years to shape the Mandalorians into exactly what he wants.
Yeah.
Exactly what he might need.
Isn't that, I mean,
to
if you
rule
want
the
to,
galaxy.
yeah, if you want to do another trilogy down the road, here's your chance to make the ultimate villains, right? To turn I mean, I know people love Mandalorians and they're not quote unquote villains, but you turn Grogu into a Sith, essentially, or something new. He doesn't have to take on the Sith moniker. He's an evil Force user. He rules all of Mandalore. He has his army at his disposal. Who rises up to stop him?
Would have to be whatever Jedi still exist in the galaxy.
He even crushes Rey's Jedi Order. I think there's a lot of people who would love to see Grogu's Sith Mandalorian army destroy Rey's Jedi Order.
All he has to do is outlive them.
Well, yeah, that's one way to do it. I don't think he'd want to just go that route. He'd want to destroy them, but...
Right, but we don't know how many years it would take, how many decades it might take for him to mold the Mandalorians into what he needs.
Yeah, but I think this is something interesting.
I think it's something interesting. I think it's something that's fun to think about, to explore. I'm not sure they would do it, but I think they should. They should definitely do it.
Well, let's again look at it from the Disney Lucasfilm perspective. There's only so much milking you can do with the character as is, right? Eventually, he's going to talk, he's going to do other things, and at that point, I think he loses some of that... The cuteness. The more he talks, the less cute he becomes.
The less he's a little baby.
Yes. And so you do have to do something with him. And what is going to be popular? Again, going the Yoda route. Is that going to sell toys? Or is making some crazy Sith, red-eyed, yellow-eyed, dark saber in one hand, some kind of weird red lightsaber in the other kind of character? Which one sells more? I think we know.
Well, because... he's going to outlive, like I said, so many people. And what kind of effect is that going to have on him? His only, attachment right now is to Din. Din's going to get old and he's going to die. Maybe Grogu starts thinking, I need to build something that'll last. He needs an empire.
Yeah. That's...
Or a giant covert.
Something.
He needs something to be attached to.
Yeah.
Because we've already seen he likes attachment. So it's going to take a lot in the show for them to convince me that Grogu is going to go down the right path. Mando's going to be a lot more strict with him. Everyone he comes in contact to and is a caregiver or someone who looks after him is going to have to be strict with him. He shows up with those baby eyes, and what's the first thing Melly does? Oh, let's
Everybody
give baby
him.
some food.
Yeah.
Everyone loves him and spoils him rotten.
Caters to him. Yeah.
Because he's cute.
That would not have happened. It probably wasn't happening back when he was in the Jedi Temple.
No, they were teaching him humble life.
Yeah. You gotta indulge.
And he's like, I get to indulge?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Everybody takes care of me. Everybody loves me. I take things, and at worst, I get a slap on the wrist. I eat somebody's eggs.
And then I do it
I'm stealing
again anyway.
Cookies. Yeah. Nobody tells him no.
This is the way.
This is I think
the beginnings of something we could see that'd be really interesting out of Disney.
Yes.
Even if they did it like Marvel does, how they do what if stories. Why not?
No, make this legit canon. You want people to be interested post sequel trilogy stuff, and a lot of people aren't right now. Mm-hmm. Do this. Do it.
This is a character that has a long, long life and could bring a reign of order,
terror,
and
terror. Screw order,
terror and ferocity and violence to the galaxy for years and years and years to come.
Yes.
With a selfish ruler, full of attachment and anger and fear and suffering.
If by some stupid chance anybody at Lucasfilm ever watches this, take this to Dave and John and say, there's an idea that maybe you want to listen to. It's crazy, but if you guys did it right, it would be the most brilliant thing in Star Wars in a long time.
It's more interesting than going, we could just turn Baby Yoda into he gets used as something to make Snoke. No, give him his own real path. Yes. His path has to be more than leading to Snoke.
But you can still do that if you really wanted to.
And then we find out Snoke was his puppet.
Yes, it's the Darth Jar Jar theory kind of in reverse here.
Why not? Let's go nuts.
No, I honestly, especially now that we've talked it out, because we kind of were like, what do you think?
I was joking about it for a while.
Well, we've been kind of joking about it. We've mentioned it in a few videos. He's very selfish, isn't he? He just takes stuff, he uses the Force and, just to do his own thing, and that's bad. It's
bad, according to the Jedi and most people.
Yeah.
So, and their creed says not to be these things. They seem to live a life of community in a way. And
yeah, very much.
Warrior culture, yes, but they don't even want to build weapons out of Beskar because they're not meant to fight each other. They are a unit. They're clans.
Yeah, and they will do anything to protect their clan, which is great if you're in the clan. But I mean, what will Grogu do to protect the clan? Right?
Exactly.
So if he becomes a true Mandalorian, if he's in there and he's one of them,
By the time of the sequel trilogy, he's already protecting the Mandalorians and showing them what a leader he is.
We don't know what's going on with Mandalore in the sequel. Not even a mention of Mandalorians in the sequel, which is fine.
Protecting themselves, or in hiding, or he's training elite Mandalorians.
For all we know,
all the Mandalorians are gonna be building lightsabers.
As Rey is taking the Skywalker name, Mando is watching his father die. I mean, it'd be about the right age, you know.
You would be.
Din passes away, and Grogu's like I said,
time for a new era.
Yeah, you guys don't think I should lead Mandalore? Like, I've done so much for you. I've used the Force to protect you. And now you're gonna turn your back on me? No, you're gonna worship me. I'm gonna rule this thing.
I am the future of Mandalore.
Yeah, I am Mandalore. Mm-hmm. We've had someone declare themselves the Senate. Now it's time for someone to declare themselves Mandalore.
Why not? It's fun and it's interesting and it shakes things up.
Yes, it's different. It's way different than what I think most people expect. All right, and with all that crazy talk, now it's your turn to take to the comments below and tell us what you think the future of Grogu looks like. Is he just going to be a basic Mandalorian? Will he be a Jedi someday? Will he be the Sith Mandalorian to rule all? Whatever you think, leave those comments below. Let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.